What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I love
Lamp.
all you commenters on last week's podcast. I saw like the top like 6 or 7.
Oh.
I didn't scroll further because I knew it was
when
only
you're on a
downhill.
roll, you gotta cut early. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And it was literally like, I'm not sure what all those other people were saying. Like it was like some of the comments on this video are weird, but I fucking love the changes of subject. I love that you guys aren't, talking 100% about Tarkov all the time. I like the different subjects. I'm here for all. It was like, dude, you guys are the real ones.
You guys are the real ones. I
didn't want to go see what they were referencing.
It's so funny to have the compliment be like, forget what those other people are saying. I love this podcast. And you're just like, wait, thank you. But like, what are they saying?
I mean, I could tell from the context that people are whining about
yeah, for sure.
That this isn't fucking Tarkov all the time, 24 hours a day, Tarkov cast, as if there's fucking literally anything to say.
All the weeks that we haven't talked about Tarkov, the podcast would be either one of two things. A, 5 minutes long, or B, a 2-hour bitch session. And neither one of us want either one of those things. And so it's like, when there's stuff to talk about, we talk about it. And we've said many times over the course of history that this was never a Tarkov podcast. It was just, for so long, we were both so invested in Tarkov. You know what I mean? So, but like, yeah, that's so funny. I was telling chat the other day, I was like, I pulled up our analytics, and our 28-day YouTube analytics is minus 28 subs. But I was like, I genuinely don't care. Like, I said it, and then chat was like, oh no. But I was like, no. Like, I didn't even for like a second was like, oh, bummed. I was like, I know why, right? Like, 200 episodes were like super Tarkov focused. We've been moving away from that. We've been like having fun talking about whatever. And so I was like, I'm not mad at all. Like, that's actually the most respectable thing to do. Like, those minus 28.
Don't leave a shitty comment.
Yeah, exactly. Those minus 28 people are like champions for subconsciously being like, I don't vibe with this content anymore. So why do I need it in my life? Unsubscribe. Like, that's a 500-fold better decision than like, I hate this podcast. I'm going to keep watching it and make sure I let them know that I hate it. Like, that's such a weird thing to do. So I was like, no. It's actually totally fine. But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the fact that we can do this, we can chill, and that the fact that anybody watches, okay, let alone the fact that we get fucking 2 to 3 sponsors every other episode, the fact that like, it's 100%. This is icing on the cake.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
So
this was always like the thing we were like, we don't want to min-max. Like, we're not going to say no to opportunities, but like, we just want to do this. Neither of us have time to spend like hours every week being like, what's the retention graph? And like, how many shorts should we be doing? And should we hit on this because everyone's hitting on it? It's like, this is just like purely what we want to talk about for 2 hours every week. Like, that's it.
And it's so funny how all the analytics Andes, how the fucking
the anal
Andes, how these like wannabe data scientists, like folks, they are so detached from reality. Like, they're the ones that would be so fucked mentally if they were content creators, being like, dude, my numbers are not this.
Oh,
yeah. Man, I gotta really grind them up, because they can't fathom. Like, Google, like fucking Gillette Stadium, crowd. And look at how many fucking people. Look how many people fit there, right? Like, I think it's like 50 or 60,000.
Yeah.
3 of our episodes, 2, 3, 4 episodes, whatever, will get that many.
Yeah.
When was the last time you could fathom doing anything that Gillette Stadium full of people got entertainment from for a few hours.
Yeah.
There's no shame in getting, you only got 10,000 views,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Oh, God.
100%.
Fucking shame. Oh, my God.
Those guys would be the same guys on like season 2, episode 6 of Breaking Bad being like, only 1 million people watch this. The show is falling off. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God.
It's just like, it's so easy for like content creators to get out of touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it seems like just as easy for
Yeah.
audience people. They go watching them from a Mr. Beast video, to watching the podcast and like, God, these guys, it's like
100%.
Talk about fucking out of touch. Like I'm happy and proud of every moment of content.
Yeah, 100%.
Every fucking view, every comment, everything. Like I'm happy and grateful for. And listen, like the other thing that people need to recognize, I don't care who you are. There will be a point in the future where the number is going to be near zero.
Yeah.
Shroud in 30 years, right? Like, so at some point, you're
crashing.
no longer going to be relevant.
Yep.
That happens whether or not you're a plumber or you're a fucking YouTuber, right?
Yep.
If that happens to be right now,
yeah.
So I got to play video games full time for 7 years and it paid my mortgage.
Yeah. Yep.
I call that a W. It doesn't look like it's right now. So I can celebrate that. But yeah.
For sure. 100%.
There's no just pure love for all the people who are like cool, who enjoy the show, who go out of their way to say nice,
100%
positive things.
Yep.
Because that's just like normally they're not the ones that are like trickling to the top, or at least that's what it feels or seems like sometimes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
no, for sure,
so
man.
There you go.
I still get like several a day sometimes. People being like, dude, love the podcast, love the videos, and it's just like, dude, hell yeah. But yeah, that's funny. I should go check those top view. It's been so long since I've looked at the comments. I'll look when I post it. I'll come back like 30 minutes later and refresh just to make sure it posted. And it's either like first, like somebody comments first, or it's like 18 sex bots. You know what I mean? But I'm like, all right, well, at least I know it's live. And then I don't come back.
The only notifications I get from YouTube Studio when I respond to someone's comment. I think it's because like I'm a partnered channel. It must think that I'm relevant or important.
Yeah, like a partnered channel responded to one of your comments. It's like, that's me.
Yeah, it's like so someone will say, like every now and then, if I look through the comments, I'll see someone being like, "Yo, finally Veritas playing Factorio or whatever," blah blah blah, and I'll be like, "Yo, thank you for the nice comment or whatever." And it's like, bloop, I get a notification from YouTube. I'm like, I thought I turned these off. Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
It's like it's a comment from me on my other channel.
Yeah. That's funny. Speaking of Factorio, you still down the rabbit hole?
Yeah, dog. I just got to space today.
You got to space. So you're not on another planet yet, but you got to space. Is that where you're mounting your launch from? Is from a space station?
Yeah. So I still don't know a ton of what's to come. And honestly, this part, I can already tell it's going to be really fucking cool because it's like a continuation of the same kinds of mechanics, but turned on its head.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me actually of what made that game Inscription.
Yes.
Which you played Balatro, bro. At one of these days, you need to also just dabble in Inscription.
Because that's like card based, right?
It's like a deck builder. It's a roguelike deck builder with its own completely unique mechanics.
Yeah.
But what that game, I won't spoil anything. It's one of those games that the game you start playing is not the game you end up playing.
Yeah, okay.
Which is like the best kind of game in my opinion.
Yeah.
You like didn't sign up for it, but you're here for it, right?
Yep.
Like all the listeners of the podcast. But what it does best is introduce a bunch of mechanics and then escalate it to where it's like, now we introduce a couple more mechanics and they get a little bit more complex.
Yeah.
Introduce another mechanic, it gets even more complex. And then introduce something that turns the entire thing on its head. But yet what you've learned from all of that applies in a totally different way, and it's almost like you're starting from scratch.
Dang.
It's almost like, you know how when you want to learn like Spanish, right?
Mhm.
It's you're using English as a reference, and it's almost like you're
Yeah.
mapping one to one. This is like you're learning Latin from Spanish when Spanish is your second language. It's
Yeah.
like that. Where
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I know Spanish, and I want to. So it's like a weird jumping off point. And so
Interesting.
Factorio is like that. Where in space, it's like you're building a mini factory on a platform, but now it's like you collect space junk and you have to mine that. But like, so I'll just say this one thing. It's not really like a spoiler, but it's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
So when you like mine iron on your home planet's called Novice. When you mine iron, you take the iron ore, you put it in the oven, and out pops like an iron plate.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did was there's only like 2 or 3 things you can build that are like space things. So it was like a little grabby arm that basically is like on the edge of your ship that like grabs like little asteroids.
Okay.
And then there's a crusher. So the crusher like processes it so that you can then do stuff with the materials.
Gotcha.
So I plugged it into the crusher and like nothing was happening. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was like, you basically need to choose, just like when you go to assemble something, you say, here's the thing I want to build.
Oh,
like
okay,
use this
yeah.
recipe. So it knows what ingredients to grab. And I was like, oh, the crusher has like a recipe. And I look and on my belt that I grabbed all this stuff from, there's like 3 different things. I'm like, so now I need to like, which is kind of the first time it's been necessary. Before it was kind of like you didn't have to, but now you need like filters to say, oh, split A over here, split B over here, split C over here, and then you run it through the crusher. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to run this stuff through the crusher, and then I'm going to process the 3 things and combine them into a recipe. Boom. And then all of a sudden I look and it's the whole thing stopped. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I see that there's like a chunk of unprocessed ore in there because the crusher just sometimes jams and doesn't process everything. So now it's like, well, now I got to filter out that, and you can just take the stuff and chuck it off the side, and it just like
floats out into space.
Yeah, which one of my mods pointed out how it's the most fucking American thing, like the most human thing ever. It's like, oh, if I just got garbage? I'm just chuck it out into space, right? It's like infinite.
What if I just don't have to think about this anymore?
Yeah. What if, and then you have like the fucking ocean pollution where now we can't launch satellites up into orbit because it's just full of garbage.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's just all of a sudden there's like 3 instantly new things where it's like, oh my god, and you're super constrained on this tiny little platform that when you want to build, you need to put them on rockets and ship the rockets up because the platform's in orbit.
Yeah,
and then you'll move it from orbit to another planet and like start fresh with a new planet with new flora and fauna, and each planet has its own mechanics. But yeah, so
that's so sick.
And I only did that because there's a ton of mechanics now that were basically like they used to be before launching the rocket into space was like the win condition.
Yeah, before the 2.0 update or whatever. Yeah,
you could still play afterwards, like infinitely, right? Yeah. It's like Minecraft is sandbox, but. So everything that, most of the things pretty much everything, or maybe everything, I'm not sure, that you could do, you did before space.
Yeah.
Right? Now, a ton of things that were available before are now like gated by space stuff.
Okay.
Which includes like a lot of the things, even a couple things I did on my last run before I upgraded to the DLC. So it's like now I don't have access to this thing that I was planning for.
Yeah.
So there was a few things that I basically need like space research and space science for. So basically I like got that out of the way but then I'm going to come back to the planet and finish a few things.
Gotcha. So you started
like
your space station, but just so you could like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically like there's a few different things like nuclear energy. I don't know if you saw like the cool uranium, fucking glowy, whatever. So it's like now nuclear power I want to dabble into, but that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
That's a major pain in the ass. So like when you mine the uranium, you throw it through a centrifuge and that like refines it into like either uranium, either U-238 or U-235, right? 2 different like isotopes. Yep. 235 is much more rare. So when you mine or when you process it, out of 1,000 uranium, you'll get 997 U238 and 3 U. Oh no, sorry, and 7. Sorry, it's 993
Yeah, and then
7 U235. So the ratio is I did the math, try to figure all this stuff out. It's 142 to 1.
Okay.
So I've just got like chests full of U238 and like 70 U235.
And there's nothing for the 238? There's no use for it?
There is.
Okay.
So if you want to then make fuel, like nuclear fuel, that takes a ratio of 20 to 1.
Oh.
So it's like, well, the total dumb monkey brute force solution is just throw out the 122 and just keep the 20 and then process that with the 1, right? But that's like super wasteful. And you can't actually like throw anything out really. Like there's no like garbage can.
Just throw it into space.
Oh my God. Wait. That's actually genius, dude.
Like space elevator.
Bro, there's never been there's like not a mechanic in the game that I'm familiar with that lets you like just discard shit. You are limited by it probably wouldn't work in practice because you're limited at how much cargo you can put in the rocket.
Okay.
But if you had enough rockets, like if you had a gigafactory with 1,000 rockets, you just fill them through your garbage and just throw them off.
Load them up.
The platform would just be full of arms throwing shit into space, dude. I might do that.
You should.
Holy fuck, that's genius. I'm gonna write that down. But so there's an enrichment process. It's called like the fucking Korovich. I don't even remember what it's called. Kovarex, I think. Kovarex. Yeah, the Kovacs AIM Pro. Whatever it's called. Where what it does is it takes 40 U235.
Yeah.
And 5 U238. And what you get out at the end is 41 U235 and 2 U238. So basically it's +1 of the rare one, -3 of the not rare one.
Yeah.
So I did some math. I'm not sure. I have to run through this. I'm sure all the meta like Factorio pros are going to like cringe because it's going to be wrong. But total back of the envelope calculations, if you were to do that with like a chunk of 1,000, I think like 38 times.
Yeah.
Basically, something like that. You would end up with, I think, like the right ratio.
Like a proper ratio.
I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but that whole enrichment process is locked behind the space stuff. So I like built this whole thing. I started processing it. I'm like, this is untenable.
Yeah.
So I got to go to space. I'm going to come back and finish that. And then I got to come back and like, I need to basically invest in like 8 billion flamethrowers and like shit because I know shit's going to pop off on.
Yeah, you showed the pollution chart and it's just like the whole map.
Yeah. So anyway, dude, the game still got me by the balls. Sick. And apparently there's like a million mods too, but then there's also like scenarios that I haven't even looked into. There's one where it's like you start off and like the world is just covered in like railroad tracks already. So it's almost like I think that's what it is. It's called like rail world.
Are these built into the game? Almost like Balatro challenges where it's like, here's a scenario where the world is preset this way. Can you do your
there's
thing?
one called Death World. Which I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know the fucking. I keep seeing this dude who looks like an older guy that's like Death World like speed run, like 1 hour and something minutes.
What's the speed running community in this game like? I wonder if there is one. I mean, I don't know how much.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah. I like I said, I keep seeing the recommendations for the speed runs, but I haven't watched any of them. But yeah, so Railworld puts the resource pastures super far apart. Oh, okay. It forces you to use trains, but do the trains, does it already have train tracks or does it not? I don't know. But anyway, so there's a few scenarios that I'm probably going to try at some point. Yeah, the game's got me by the balls. And I have to say now, I think I like it better than Satisfactory.
Damn.
I've gone full circle, and that Satisfactory is a game I know I will come back to and be happy to like play
Yeah.
over and over again. But this game is like, if Satisfactory to me is like a deep ocean
Yeah.
of complexity, this game is a solar system.
Yeah. But I feel like you needed Satisfactory to get here, to like get to embrace like it being interested in, you know what I mean? Factorio, and then
100%.
embracing
Yeah.
it for what it is. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So, and I've only experienced like 25% of the game, and that's probably being generous. Probably 10%.
Jeez.
But yeah, so I learned a ton from Satisfactory that I was able to apply.
Yeah. Is there a main story in this game too? Like kind of how there was in
You crashed on a planet,
Yeah, and
and
then get to another planet. It's just like the
yeah, I don't think there's no story.
Gotcha.
Satisfactory had like kind of a GLaDOS
Yeah.
Portal vibe to it, but yeah, I would. People ask me like which one I like better and whatever, and I mean obviously it's largely subjective. I would say if you're thinking about trying one of these games, Satisfactory is in many ways more simple, in some ways more complex because you're dealing with like full on 3 dimensions, whereas like Factorio is like 2.5D because there's still like underground like routing pipes and belts and shit underground or whatever. But Satisfactory is, first of all, it's a lot more modern. Like some people just can't do like 8-bit
the pixel art
graphic
type
stuff.
yeah.
Which is like
That's
totally
true.
fine. I get that. There are a lot of games I look at that I'm just like totally not. I'm not interested in like that art style. Satisfactory is gorgeous. I mean, just fucking gorgeous. It's got, you know, like Unreal Lumen, you know, like sunsets and shadows and lighting. It's incredible. And it's a lot more chill. I left the game running every night basically because it's like the game is, it's almost meant to like keep going.
Just like idle, yeah.
Factorio like isn't, because like for example, if you have a patch of iron, it's finite.
Yeah.
So if you were to let it run overnight, right, like it would just be gone the next day.
Yeah.
So you
had the incident with the aliens or whatever that first time where you didn't realize they were yoinking your shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's cool. What's the modding that like is it like quality of life stuff, or is it like whole new worlds of content?
I think yes, all of that. There's a lot of quality of life stuff because I mean the people that play a game like Factorio, so many like gigabrain fucking engineers, that you know there are like all kinds of calculators and things that are built in and whatever. And there's, I think, whole new, like, I want to say, like, scenarios and stuff. I haven't really looked that much into it, like I said. Because if I look into it, then I'll, like, want to dabble in it. And there's already too much to learn with vanilla, so I don't really want to fuck around with mods.
Yeah.
But yeah. And there's also a ton of mods for Satisfactory, too.
Yeah.
That are, like, some of them completely changed the game. I saw a playthrough of somebody playing, like, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like Satisfactory fucking 2.0 kind of thing where everything had like 9 steps between it that before would take 30 seconds. Maybe Satisfactory Plus, maybe, yeah. But it's like it makes it like hardcore, which to me doesn't seem
Yeah. Like you got like you were saying, you want Satisfactory because it's a little bit more chill as opposed to hardcore. Is there a hardcore mode in Factorio? I feel like that would work where like all
might be fucking Death World. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe.
When you start a new game, there's like 9 billion sliders and like 5 tabs.
Oh, so you can
customize
kind of
the evolution factor of the aliens, the spread rate, like everything. They're all it's all customizable.
Gotcha. That's fascinating.
And when I started this playthrough on the DLC, I had done a playthrough without the aliens and was kind of like, maybe I'm missing something. I'll try it with the aliens. I had some challenges and kind of thought I got over the challenges. Then the whole DLC thing where I was like, okay, I'm going to start over with the DLC.
Yep.
but I'm going to turn everything down. So basically, like, made the slider. The sliders are start at like kind of halfway between minimum and maximum, right?
Yeah.
With some arbitrary value, evolution factor like 0.5, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And I took it and basically made it like 25%.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that has been fucking AIDS, dude. I admittedly, and some people are gonna want to revoke my gamer card, I turned the fucking aliens on peaceful for like the last day or two because I had to use like console commands because they was legitimately ruining my experience.
Yeah.
I spent so much time preparing for the aliens because I'm like, they're not gonna get me like last time.
They're not gonna get me.
And I built walls and fucking turrets and I filled them all with ammo, and then I played for 4 days and they didn't ever come to me. So then I like expanded over here and kind of like put up 1 or 2 turrets, and I was like, it's not going to be expanded here. Wanted to expand my thing, so I tore down all the walls and started to build up. I'm like, I'll build walls later. And then one of my trains got backed up, and all of a sudden I ran out of coal, and now the whole thing shut down. And I'm running and I'm slow and I'm running because I haven't built a car yet. And all of a sudden, bloop, 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 the fucking biters are eating your
like, no!
shit over here. And they're eating your shit over here. And I've run back and this train's out of gas. And I got to run all the way to the fucking train. And they're eating your fucking. And it was like that for like 20 hours, dude. I couldn't, when it was like, I just want to put down a fucking assembler and make a thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to put out fires.
And that's at 0.25, like, aggressiveness on the scale.
Yeah. And then the worst part is that, like, the solution to that, right, is you need to invest in infrastructure to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Which you can't do once you get into the state where they're constantly destroying your shit.
Yeah.
Now you don't have the resources to make the shit to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So you're always on your back foot.
Yep.
But as a new player, it's like, you know, when you board up the windows and then nothing happens for a week, you're like, you feel kind of okay
you
about
let the
it.
guard down a little bit. Yep.
And then you find out that they have nuclear weapons, and boarding up your windows wasn't enough.
And they've been watching you, waiting for you to open your wall. Yeah.
But yeah, so the solution is to up your defenses, but then also kill, like, if you go and you kill the little red patches is like where they have their spawners. When you kill a spawner, they won't be there like ready to attack you, because you saw that cloud of pollution.
Yeah.
As it grows out, as soon as it like touches, they're like, fuck you, man. And they start coming in and they all attack like the pollution generating shit.
Yep.
They just start eating all the things, right?
Jeez.
So if you go and you wipe it out, that buys you some time, but that like increases like massively their evolution. So the all the ones that get spawn after that, they're twice as big. So it got to the point where it's like I had 5 upgrades to the ammo. I hadn't used any, like I shot a couple of them with like the basic shit and they died in 2 hits, right?
Yeah.
I had 5 upgrades to the ammo. You know, I had the fucking combat shotgun. I had all this stuff, and I'm sitting there, and this one biter sitting there eating my fucking miner, and I'm like, and their health bar's doing this. And there's 9 of them.
And you're just like, dude, I'm done.
Yeah, and it took me 20 minutes to craft all this ammo, and it's like, well, and it didn't do fuck all.
Oh my god.
So I basically was like, I just want to play.
Yeah.
Like the factory game.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do, my plan is set up nuclear energy, build 9 billion fucking laser turrets and like flamethrowers, and get it all set up with ammo, and the robots are all automatically gonna be filling their ammo and doing everything so that I don't have to. And you saw I'm like running around super fast because I have power armor and like all these upgrades. So I'm just like zooming now. I run faster than my car drives.
Jeez.
Which totally changes the game once you can move like that. And I have 5,000 robots that assemble shit.
Yeah.
And every time I walk into my base, I have like a preset list of all the things I want. It's like, I want 100 red inserters, 100 red belts. So anytime I'm under or over the minimum or maximum for these items, the bots take them away. or they go into the chest and they give them to me. So before I used to have to run to this chest and do this, and now it's just like so I can. It's a totally different game.
That's so sick.
So I'm gonna outfit everything. I'm gonna turn the fucking biters back on, and at that point I'll have nuclear weapons, literally. So fuck them. Fuck them, dude.
That's like
they have my oil and I need it.
God damn it. That's like I've been playing Minecraft with my son, and I'm vanilla Minecraft. Like I've never played before, and because he had never really played games before, I put it on peaceful mode, so there were no mobs. No creepers, no zombies, no mages, no witches, no spiders, nothing. And we built a bunch of
my wife calls them the green peepees.
The green peepees.
Because they kind of look like cock and balls.
They kind of do. Dude. They kind of do. I'm not gonna call them that to my son, but yeah. And anyways, so eventually I was like, yo, let's do, because there's a bunch of stuff like you want to make TNT and you can't get TNT, you have to get gunpowder from creepers, but there's no creepers in our world. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, let's start another world. And he was like, yeah.
Oh no.
And I put it on the lowest difficulty, but with mobs, it's like one above peaceful, easy mode or whatever. And like, I can hardly stay alive. I don't know if we got like a bad spawn or I just didn't realize how freaking Mad Max metal Minecraft was, but like, it's just non-stop zombies and creepers and the skeletons freaking shooting their bows and arrows at us, getting us. It's like, and
they're fucking aimbot. They're worse than scabs, dog.
I'm fighting for my life, like trying to get some iron to like build him some armor and stuff like that. And he's so funny, dude. He's like panicking. Like he's in the house, but I'm like running around. He's like, Daddy, don't die, Daddy. And I'm like, dude, you gotta chill. He's like screaming at the top of his lungs, and I'm like barely hanging on to like 2 skeletons and a creeper. It's been like, it's easy mode Minecraft has like been kicking my ass, like unironically. It's crazy.
That's why you just, torches are your best friend.
I have because we found like a cave, which is like where we're gonna find most of our materials, obviously like diamond and stuff. And I have 400 torches down there, but they still just like walk right up to me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but holy.
I remember building, it was actually one of my favorite things, designing a mob spawner.
Oh yeah.
With like a lava blade.
I like see shorts like that. I don't know what any of it means, but I've seen, freaking mob farmers or like resource farmers, and it all like goes into like hoppers and goes into chests and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I can barely wax a freaking creeper. So.
Yeah, I'm vaguely recall like what it was you just have a big open rectangular room, right? You just make it with stone or whatever. You fill it with torches at first, and what you do is you put like a hole in the middle that drops down into like another room. And if you put down like a water, like a barrel in like the corners, the size matters, I think, because it the water kind of steps down.
Yeah.
That naturally wants to flow things towards the center. And then it was some weird ass combination of like lava with like a ladder. I think if you put a ladder on a block, and then if you have lava that flows, it will like hit the ladder, and it won't go flow down.
Yeah.
Something like that. But if like a mob walks up to it, it will damage it. So then what you do is you set that up with the water going down into like some kind of fucking little container that has the water flow out. And then you take away all the torches.
Yeah.
In the darkness is where the mobs spawn.
Yep.
So all you do is like every 5 minutes, you just run over to like the little hole that is like the outport from the water. And there's just like gunpowder, bones.
Yeah.
It's just all the dead things. And you just hear like, from like the next room of all the things just murdered, but.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's been fun though.
Do you see like your son? Is there any like I know he's probably too young, but like, is there any kind of like problem solving, getting like peaked there or
definitely maybe not problem solving, but like definitely creative. He's very like literally every time I turn around, he's like built a new house or he's built a bunch of stuff that I don't know how he built, like a bunch of materials. Like there was like this weird like lattice, and it's so funny because he's not bound by what a thing is supposed to be. He like we used like built like a trap door, but it was like a copper trap door, and so like the texture of the copper trap door is like almost like latticey, and he ended up setting up like a viewing room, and he captured like a llama and put it in there, and I was like, what are these? And it was like trap doors, but he doesn't know what that is. He just sees it and it's like, this would be cool if I set these up, I can see through it, but the llama can't get out. And I'm like, I'm down there fighting for my life, trying to not die the 8th time.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah,
though.
but I'm like, what? How did you do like? Yeah, so he's very creative. Like in our peaceful world, we have it's a compound now. He's built like 83 houses. He just like loves building them. The problem is he keeps destroying his bed and then doing something where he dies, and then we respawn wherever like the world spawned us, which we're way far away from that. And I'm like, I'm having the main bus conversation with him about the bed. This is the bed. We don't ever touch the bed. We don't ever move the bed. Like, oh my, because I want you to be able to explore and fall off a cliff and it's fine. But like, it takes me 20 minutes to get back to where we were every time. So don't mess with your bed. But
dude, you know how many times as a 30-year-old, I'd start a new game, I'd play for like a week. But when I would spawn, I would run off, walk for 15 minutes before I find the perfect location. Right? Yeah. Set up shop there, and then it's something happens, right? And I die, and I'm back at the spawn, and I'm like, I have no idea where. So I'm like, I guess I'm just starting a new world because I'm not gonna go looking around.
I have spent
so you write down the fucking XYZ coordinates, my dude, of your home base.
It's crazy. One time, like I found this cave, and then we almost died, and then I got us out of the cave, but I got out of the cave a different way than I got into the cave, and I spent, and when we got out of the cave, I got to the shore and I built like a little structure. So I'm like, if I'm ever back here, I know where it is. I built a boat, and he had to go to bed. So I had both controllers, and I popped him in the boat, and then I got in the boat, and then I was driving the boat around for like 30 minutes, just like trying to like hoping to find the thing. I found the house, like our island, and the back way, and I moved myself up a little bit, then moved him up a little bit, then myself, and I got us both home. And the next day I realized that when I got in the boat, I turned left and I was like hugging the island. If I had turned right, I was like 8 blocks away from our house.
No.
I didn't know. And so I just picked left and I was like, well, let me see if and then I ended up finding it, but I was like 8 blocks away from our house. It was crazy. I told you the render distance on the Switch is 4 blocks.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, you can't see. We built, like, towers and stuff so we could see, but the render distance on the Switch is nothing. And so...
And you have, like, access to, like, any settings whatsoever, or are you, like, locked into...
You do, but it's, like, the hardware just can't. If he, which he does all the time, he'll end up with, like, 100 wood, and he'll be like, I can make 700 sticks, Dad. And he'll just mash A, and he's making all the sticks. I'm down there fighting for my life at 1 frame per second, because he's like, sticks! And it just takes... it's crazy.
Oh wait, are you on 2 switches?
No, we're split. I have the Switch docked and we're split screen on the big TV.
I don't know you could do that. That's actually pretty rad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But he's fucking tanking your FPS.
He's tanking the FPS. I'm down there fighting for my life. I got like 30 iron. I'm trying to get him iron armor so he can live a little bit longer, and I've got mobs around me, and oh dude, there have been more than one occasion where I'm like, buddy, stop talking. Like, basically, I'm like, I'm locking in.
Focus,
yeah, dude, like, oh my god, it's so funny. It's so funny,
dude. These are fucking memories he'll have.
I know, and that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to help him progress and have fun and like keep the carrot at the end of the stick and not get bored, because there's obviously infinite things to do in Minecraft. But if I don't push him along, he's just going to build the same house the same way. Like, each step has taken me being like, look, if you mix these together, you get this. And he's like, whoa. And then there's all this creativity. So I'm trying to do that without taking it too seriously, like letting it just be funny and whatever. But I'm such a gamer. I'm such a min-maxer. I'm like, no, what'd you do with our diamond pickaxe? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, Come on, dude.
How old is he?
6.
Yeah, so this is like he'll remember this stuff.
Yeah,
dude. Like
yeah.
my dad was always like, he'd always get me. I was lucky. I was fortunate where, like I'd always have the new system, right?
Yeah.
But like my dad never really cared. He's not a gamer, right?
Yeah.
He's born in fucking the 50s.
Yeah.
But was never really a gamer. He was like a graphics engineer.
Yeah.
So every now and then when like Madden 97, he'd be like, whoa,
That's
he'd
crazy.
like look at the fucking the flare from like the sun.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, whoa, that's that graphically, like that's impressive. Now it's like obviously garbage, but
Yeah.
but I have a vivid memory of being, I think I must have been 8. Because Super Mario 64 came out in 96.
Yeah.
I was born in 88. Actually, my birthday's in a few days.
Hey.
So I have vivid memory of like getting SM64 when Nintendo 64 was like my birthday or whatever, and just sitting on my bedroom floor playing. And I remember we had with like family friends over or whatever, and my Uncle Bob, who's not really my uncle, he's a family friend, but
okay.
like, awesome,
One of those
dude.
situations.
And the funny thing is he looks just like Luigi. He's just got like the mustache, and I remember him just coming and sitting down and just sitting cross-legged next to me and just asking me questions while I was playing, and like, I didn't know shit, right?
Yeah.
But him just like being interested, I have such a vivid memory of like, oh my god, someone's interested in the game I'm playing, and what you're talking about is like so much more than that.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like my dad was just like we always had consoles too. Like he was super pro. He would let us play, but yeah, they just, once again, that generation, they didn't understand why we were excited about it. I genuinely think about it all the time. Like I'm so excited to just like play video games with him. It's so fun playing Minecraft with him, and I'm excited to just like keep that going and like see what games he gets into next. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah. Very excited.
Satisfactory,
dude. Well, I bet he'd be down.
I'm throwing around the idea. I had the idea today. My niece, she's been into some really cool engineering related like stuff, like talking about like Disney robotics and like the cool stuff that they have with animatronics and whatever down in Disney now. Like for some reason she's like been geeking out. And she plays Minecraft too. And she's like was talking a little bit about the redstone was like really complicated, but she thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's like 8.
Yep.
And I'm like, I've got like an old PC.
Ooh.
I would just love to see her playing a game like Satisfactory or Factorio. Probably would give it to her and like don't plug in the Ethernet cord. Like install some games and then just like, because kids already have enough internet, I'm sure, but I mean, of course, obviously I'd talk to my sister, but I was just thinking like,
that'd be sick.
That's the kind of thing that would like the butterfly effect, this could make it so that she was an engineer.
Yeah, seriously. I got Satisfactory when I was 8 and now I'm a doctorate engineer. Like for sure. 100%. Now, speaking of gaming and even gaming nostalgia, I want to take a second and thank the first sponsor for this episode, and that is Turtle Beach. Turtle Beach, man, if you're a gamer, you know them, you love them. Turtle Beach, the OG like gaming headsets, and
legendary, dude.
Yeah, literally legendary. And they're still cooking up some amazing stuff. They've got all sorts of cool stuff this holiday season, showing off. They sent us another one. The Stealth 700. We were talking about the Stealth 600 last time. These genuinely, I don't know. I mean, it's the same kind of stuff, but the memory foam, not only in the ears,
it's so comfortable,
but in the head as well. Yeah. Well, there's been one too many head dents from headphones in the world, and now we're putting memory foam up top. It's so comfortable, literally everywhere. The freaking mic pops out, so it doesn't look like a gamer mic headset. An Xbox Live headset if you don't want it to, but if you need a mic, it's there. It's freaking comfortable. It sounds amazing. 80-hour battery life, which is insane on one charge. So it's they're juiced. And the Stealth 700, I opened up the box and do you notice there's 2 little USB dongles? I didn't realize why at first. The Stealth 700 is the industry's first cross-play dual wireless transmitter system, meaning you can be connected to 2 devices. So it can be like console and PC, or even like PC and phone, or any combination. And just with a touch of a button, you can swap between them. I was like, that's actually really nice, because a lot of people now either have multiple consoles or play console games and play PC games. And so having having to search for the Bluetooth or whatever, or swap the dongles around, I was like, that was one of those things where immediately I was like, how has nobody thought about that before? That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, I've been rocking them in bed basically, because the wife will be asleep and I'll be like on my laptop watching a YouTube video, but also with the Switch playing like Balatro.
Yeah.
And just being able to do that Switch is so convenient, dude. So convenient. And they're super comfortable wearing them in bed for. And especially with usually when I'm in bed, I have glasses.
Yep.
And wearing headphones with glasses, dude, it kills like your temples and like the side of your head. But with the memory foam, it's like it's not at all.
Yep.
So it's been huge.
So Stealth 700, awesome. And then Turtle Beach provides all sorts of stuff, not just headsets now. There's race sim stuff. There's flight sim stuff for all my Star Citizen nerds out there. They got mice. They got keyboards. They also have a bunch of like custom controllers for like PlayStations or Xboxes. So they've got the whole suite. Anything you're looking for this holiday season. So yeah, get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. For a limited time, you can head to turtlebeach.com and use code POGCAST for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code POGCAST. Don't delay. Get the perfect gift now. Thank you so much to Turtle Beach for sponsoring this episode. So yeah, we have had a little bit of Tarkov news and stuff and things going on. So we talked about the zombie event last week, right? Yeah, we did, because we were talking about how like it launched into the zombie event and some of the issues.
How it was a typical Tarkov.
Yes. I sucked you in where I was like, it's so sick, and then I was like, but it's also kind of AIDS. Yeah, so that has not stopped. It's still around, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions. I want to try and give them props where like the props are due. Like the audio design is crazy, like the ambient noises, like hearing zombies off in the distance and stuff like that. That's so cool.
I saw a bunch of clips on Twitter, and it looked terrible, actually.
Oh, what do you like?
A dude was in labs.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm low on ammo. And he's like, in the head. And like, they're just not dying. And there's just 19 of them. And they're shooting them.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like so bad, dude.
There are a few brief moments where you see the light shine through and you're like, this is the feeling they wanted you to get. Like, there's a few brief moments where it's like taking you back to like Left 4 Dead with your homies. And that's definitely a key component. If you're solo, this event sucks, because with friends, there's just some level of seriousness that gets cut. Like often if you're solo Tarkoving, you like it's purposeful. Very few people solo Tarkov and meme, right? And so with friends, if you like me and freaking Abney and Sealable were playing, and it's hilarious. Like it just cuts through some of the seriousness, and we're having some of those moments. It like harkens back to like Left 4 Dead, but mostly it's AIDS. And there's a few of those moments where it peaks through, and you're like, "Oh, this is so sick." But mostly it's rough. Also, there have been a bunch of quests. They basically released 2 new quests every single day since last week, and to their credit, none of them have really been horrible. One was pretty, and this isn't even a horrible quest. It's just like Tarkov is kind of horrible, so it makes this quest horrible. But one of the quests was like go into labs, find a thing, transition to streets with the map-to-map travel, and then plant the thing, which isn't that toxic. You're like, okay, they have this map-to-map travel thing. They want to utilize it. It's just like everything in Tarkov is so toxic, and like you just spawn so far away from where you need to plant the thing. It was like that one is like kind of AIDS. But all the other ones were mostly just like kill 50 infected, headshot, 20 infected with shotguns. Like, go to labs, find this thing, turn it in. Like, they weren't too bad, and it really did give you something to do. But, like, they debated us with so much of it, because at, like, day 2, everybody was like, there needs to be at least one map that doesn't have infected. Like, this is...
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be. So, day 3, there was, like, a little in-game thing where it was like, Rashala has cleared customs. And so customs had 0 infected. And so everybody was like, oh, like, I wonder if it'll just be customs the whole time, or if it'll be like, if it'll rotate or whatever. The next day, customs was infected again, and all the maps were infected again. And everybody was like, bro, we thought you like were helping us out here and you were going to have one non-infected thing. It's weird. There's also, which is kind of a funny mechanic, but there's like a ceasefire in Tarkov. So none of the AI on any of the maps will aggro you. Which has been kind of cool. Like when you see like scavs fighting the zombies and stuff. Anyways, so they were like
Santa Claus.
Yeah. So there's
except they don't give you anything.
Correct. So there's been like 2 quests a day, and it ended up with there's 2 achievements that you can get, like the achievements on your thing, and there's 2 ways that it ends. You find the virus, and basically in the lore, you find the antidote, and you plant the antidote on 6 different maps. They give you 6, you put them in your secure container, and you plant them on 6 different maps. But the antidote hasn't been like refined or whatever, and so the antidote will work, but it kills the zombies. Or you can do another quest where you go to Sanitar's room and you kill Sanitar and you like refine the freaking antidote and you can apply it and it saves everybody. It basically brings them back. And those are the 2 achievements. Like you did the good version where you did a few extra quests, but you brought everybody back. I did the bad. I was like, I do not want to do a single one of these quests. So I just did the bad version, whatever. So that was cool. And then they've been doing quests. I think the event is winding down, where they're doing 2 quests each day, and it's to just like kill a bunch on a specific map. It was kill 50 on Shoreline and kill 50 on Lighthouse. And then the next day, Shoreline and Lighthouse had no infected. And there was a quest to kill on Reserve and kill on Woods. And this morning, Woods and Reserve had like 10% infection rate. And today we got quests to kill them on Customs and kill them on Factory. So I think basically what we're doing now is we're fighting them back, and there's going to be like a final quest to kill them on Labs. And then the event is going to be over. But this has definitely been like the most exhausting thing about this week has been, when is the event over? Jesse, when is the event over? This is so AIDS. I hate it. I've never hated playing Tarkov more. When is the event over? When is the event over? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Please stop asking. It is divisive. I want to see player stats so bad. Like, so bad. Dude, bro. This event is like an S tier event with these following changes. This is JesseKazam's proposition to fix this event and make it like the most fun event Tarkov's ever had. No guns. They have guns. We just keep dying to zombies shooting me with AP 6.3 from 300 meters away. It's crazy.
That's so dumb.
Dude,
mechanically and oh my god, that's
crazy.
Like there's like realism, right, in like a hardcore game. Then there's like realism in the lore of the zombie world.
Yeah.
And that isn't even that.
Correct.
It's the worst part of the non-realistic shit AIDS AI.
And half of the
combined with zombies.
And half of the time, they'll have the gun pointed down, and you'll see a muzzle flash from their chest, and then die. And it's like literally not even pointing its gun at you. So, number 1, no guns. No guns. Number 2, all zombies have 1 head HP. We talked about this last week. I think any gun in the game should one-tap any zombie. There's so many of them that like, it's just
their heads should be like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you tripled their thorax HP, that's fine because shoot them in the head. Like that.
You could quadruple the number of them, right? Because if you could full spray a 30-round mag and kill 25 of them, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Then it's Left 4 Dead.
You don't even need to quadruple. There are so many. Like there just are so many.
Yeah.
There have been raids where like between me, Abdi, and Seal, we killed like 150 to 200 and found a bunch of ones dead that we didn't kill. Like there's so many. You don't even have to. You do that. A, freaking no guns. B, their head HP is 0 or 1. And then it would be like really cool. The other thing is like once you're done with the quest, there's nothing to do. You can't loot them.
Yeah.
So like even a scav, right? There's this like, I shot you with M80. If I wanted to, I could go loot you and you might have a flash drive and then I sell that and get the value of my M80 back. If you don't have a quest to do, it's like I have to bring 750 Ultra Nozzler rounds just to make it through the raid and I can't loot a single one of you. If I get lucky enough to kill a PMC, I can't loot it because I don't have enough time. So it's like, it's just... There's no. So the other thing I was thinking was it would be cool every once in a while you kill one and like green smoke puffs off of them. They're like extra infected or whatever. I was like, it'd be cool if like those ones you could loot them and like get their zombie brain and you could like, and there were like a bunch of barters from therapists.
Harvest, yeah, dude, harvest that for fucking like use crafts for antidotes.
Exactly. And so like it wasn't every zombie, but like 1 in 20 zombies you could loot. You know, it had the green smoke puff it and you're like, oh, I got to loot that one. And you loot it and you get its brain. And then there's like barters for like LEDXs or quest items or whatever from therapists. Like, then there's like, you would like want to go in and farm them. You know what I mean? There'd be something to do. And then secondly, and then finally to make the event fun, bro, day 1 of the event, I actually said it on the podcast where I was like, yo, it's actually kind of crazy. You can be like backed up against a wall and they can all be like clawing at you and they're like not doing that much damage. You'll get infected, but they're not doing that much damage and you can like jump out of them. And I was like, I literally said on the podcast, I was like, it's so fun because even if you get backed into a corner, you can like mow them down and get out. I was playing with Valiant the other day and just for 6 hours, I was getting essentially one-tapped by their smacks because what happens is they hit you, and this happened to me like 8 raids in a row. One of them hits you, and by the way, like 10% of them make no footstep audio. So, and I don't know if that's a bug because there's just like so much going on the server, or if it's like bird eye where it's, anyways. So like you'll literally be like having the situation under control, and then one hits you from behind and just made no noise, right? And so this is what happens. He hits you once. You definitely have a heavy bleed, and you either have a red thorax, meaning there's like 4 HP left, or a red head. So what do? Do you stop the heavy bleed? Do you heal the thorax or head? Or do you fight the zombie? It doesn't matter because now there are 3 more and you're dead. And that just happened to me all day where like I get hit, I try to fix the heavy bleed, and I'm taking Zagustans, right? Like no grizzly, shortest animation possible. Before the thing hits my skin and they hit me again, I die. I'm like, okay, well, I don't do that. Next time they hit me, I try and heal the thorax. I can't. The animation's too long. I die. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't heal. You have to turn around and face the threat. I turn around, but there's always more than one. So if you kill the one close to you, the one behind him still has a long enough reach to hit you. So it's like, I don't know what happened. Day 1, I was like, this is so fun. They don't do that much damage to you. This is actually perfect. And right now, it's essentially a one.
Nikita heard
you.
It's
essentially a one tap because there's always 2 zombies. One of them hits you and gets your thorax red, and then the second one hits you and you're dead. So it feels like a one tap. And so that just happened to me raid after raid after raid after raid. And I was like, so the other thing is if they hit you, sure, cause a bleed and get you infected. But like they should do like 3 damage. Like you should be able to tank just like you were able to on day 1. I don't know what happened. So, but bro, it's been a mess. I've been telling you that I'm in my like live, laugh, love era where I'm just like, you know, freaking white girl wasted, just playing Tarkov, having fun, not really caring. Dude, today and these past few days have like tested my patience because now there are maps that don't have any zombies, but this event brought with it just the spaghetti apocalypse. Like ever since the zombie event,
the spaghetti factory.
Yeah, the old spaghetti factory. Since the since the event started, my frames, like on my $5,000 PC, I'm getting like 60 frames on Shoreline with no zombies, not scoped in. Like performance is awful. Lag is crazy. Like rubber banding teammates, other players, like crazy lag, crazy desync. When you play on a map with zombies, it's crazy. Dude, today I had heard that there was a bug related to the transits when you're transiting from map to map, but I hadn't experienced it. I spawned on Shoreline. I am solo. I can show you the clip. I spawned with someone else as if they were my teammate.
Oh my God, like Boiler fucking Customs in 1998.
He was 3 feet in front of me. His back was to me. We spawned in. I heard his feet hit the ground, and I shot him in the back of the head. Just instinctively. Yeah, freaking Reverse just posted the clip. Just instinctively, I shot him in the back of the head. And I was like, what the heck? And then he came into chat, and he was like, why did we spawn together? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, did you use the transit? He was like, no. I was like, were you solo? Did you have a buddy? He was like, I was solo. He was like, that was my first raid of the day. And I was like,
oh my God.
I just like grabbed all his stuff and threw it in the water. But it's just been so scuffed. It's just been.
Wait. There we go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the we're not gonna have audio on my end, but yeah, it happens so fast.
Yeah, it's muted anyway on my computer. Oh my God.
Dude, like actual maybe shortest rate of all time.
He probably. I would have just assumed it was a cheater.
Me too.
Honestly, I would have assumed it was a cheater before I would assume, because I
just think he recognized the name and popped in and was like, "What the hell, dude?" And I was like, "Bro."
Either that or he was a stream sniping cheater
himself.
Yeah, that was coming in to kill you, and he just his PC is slower than yours.
Yeah. But dude, I was like, "What the hell, dude?" And it's so funny because remember, like before TwitchCon, we were like talking about spawns, and you were like, "It's more complicated," and I was like, "I don't think it is." And then you were saying that person made the like concentric circles, and they were doing the thing, and I was like, "Dude, somebody at BSG heard us bitching about the spawns and was like, 'Oh, you want close spawns? Hold my beer.'" Like, and I've been hearing people saying that's been happening to them a ton, spawning with. I had a buddy, and I'm inclined to believe him now. A regular chatter in my chat was like, we were 4-manning. Me and one of my teammates spawned with a different 2-man, and our other 2 guys spawned on the other side of the map. So it split the 4-man, but then spawned 4 people, and it was 2 and 2. I'm like, and so
it's the spaghetti.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's been crazy. Today, they literally. So I told you, they've been doing 2 quests every day, right? 2 quests every day. The femtosecond, the 2 quests dropped today. I like got out of a raid. I was like, oh, they dropped the quests. People were like, where'd my trader rep go? Did your trader rep go? What happened to the trader rep? It's just spaghetti. Everybody that launched the game after the quests came out, their trader rep was cut in half. People were losing max traders. People were losing max scav karma. And then it was like rolling back slowly. So like people were like, I got Peacekeeper back, but my proper rep isn't back. And it's like, they fixed it all. Like most people got their stuff back. But it's just every time they press any button, it's spaghetti. It's just like, dude, I was getting disheartened by the end of the stream today. I was like, it's just like they can't just like release a new quest without breaking the game, dude. It's just, oh my God. It's just been so crazy. So
it's the fucking, the 2 dogs from the movie where they eat the spaghetti, but
they are
made of spaghetti, but they are spaghetti as butchered by Midjourney.
Yeah. So, dude, so it's like, because that's the other thing too. It's like, sure, the event is whatever, and it's like, if you don't like the event, that's fine, or there's maps to play now, but you just can't escape it. You know what I mean? Like even if you've come to terms and you're like, okay, well, I don't want to do the event, but I'll just play Shoreline today. They push event quests and your trader, it's just like you can't escape it. It's inescapable. And it's like, I hate to be that guy. I hate to be the negative Nancy. I hate to let the darkness win, but like, dude, after 6 years and all this talk about 1.0 and like these roadmaps or whatever, just like the fact that they can't deploy anything without just like 8 bugs or 6 different things. Like I'm spawning like in the asshole of this like level 23 dude trying to quest, and it's just like it's just the tally of like how many of my raids feel good just like dwindles. You know what I mean? Audio bug, cheater, I spawned behind somebody or somebody else spawned behind me, spawn kill. It just like so clearly like, oh, wrong place, wrong time for that guy. Like I had some great raids today. I had some genuine like 1v4 super cool PvP today. But just the ratio of the amount of raids where like whether I win or lose like feel fulfilling or satisfying at all. Like it just feels like 50% of my raids are AIDS. Of the 50% of my raids that aren't AIDS, 50% of all interactions with other humans in those raids are AIDS for them. I just got the receiving end. I just got the good end of the AIDS. And so it's like the flow chart becomes like, I streamed for 8 hours. I had 3 fun raids. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, and I don't want it. You know what I mean? I want it to just be fine. I want to be in my live, laugh, love era and just like not care. But holy man, today it was getting to me. Today it was getting to me, bro.
The unfortunate thing is with many pieces of software, you have all kinds of like continuous integration testing that's all automated where, like back at my last job in the robotics industry, every time I'd fucking commit something and push it up and open up a pull request, while the pull request was pending and the code was getting ready to be reviewed by people, automatically a server would pick up the code, download everything, run the application, run the unit tests, and spit out that like the 1,500 unit tests passed.
Yeah.
That the integration test between the server it would spin up and the application, they would talk, the handshakes would go, like the whole suite, everything like worked.
Yeah.
You can't really do that. Or I mean, you probably can, but it's probably so massively complex because something like a video game is complex in a totally different way.
Yep.
That it's like, how do you do automation testing to determine whether or not like your spawns are I don't know, dude. Like it's just so complicated.
Yeah.
So the sad reality is it's like people's tendency is going to want to be, did they test this before they pushed it?
Yeah.
Now,
which is my reaction to when I'm at my lowest.
Think about what you're asking.
Yeah.
Think about every system, every mechanic.
Yeah.
You would need everyone to spawn into a raid. They'd all need to pay attention to the spawns are correct. And this is all manual, right? You have like 12 people that are all trying to play the game realistically while paying attention to the animations, the ballistics, the hit reg, the net code, the spawns, the AI behavior, the aim, the timing, the loot distribution. It's impossible for anybody to do. So it's just infinitely more practical and infinitely less work for them to just test it in production.
Yeah. I get that, but like I totally get that. I've literally thought that before where I'm like, dude, they don't even test these patches. And then I almost catch myself where I'm like, how would they test them, right? Like they don't have a place where they can deploy this and have genuinely like thousands upon thousands of, clients from all over connecting to make sure that it's whatever. But then I give them the grace and I'm like, okay, that's understandable. But then immediately I swing back the other way where it's like, but how is this not the problem for all these other games. Like, I'm not saying no game that patches has bugs, but like they've deployed 2 quests 1,000 times since I've been playing Tarkov. We're like, oh, there's a new quest today. Why is it now your trader rep is cut in half? Like, why does it feel like even more rudimentary things, like just adding a quest as of recently, has just had devastating effects on the game?
So, and I'll give you one reason why I would guess. The fact is that when they started building this game, they weren't game developers. They worked at Olive Garden making spaghetti.
Yeah, they did.
So they started, which is like what they've pulled off today.
Yeah.
I say that like with all the respect in the world. Like like Kiba was like a janitor or something before he did the animations, and the animations are some of the best in the fucking industry, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But like, it's the same thing with every application I wrote in the first 3 years of my career. Every time I looked back at that code, I'm like, oh, like I never would want to work on any of the applications I built 7-8 years ago, because it would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
But they're too invested to. They can't start over.
I get
it's
it.
Too late.
For sure.
So that's probably. So when you look at like a AAA studio, not to say they don't have tech debt, but they start off with 300 pros.
For sure.
As opposed to 7.
And they've all made games, like fully completed, shipped games in these engines. And so they're like, oh, we learned a lot from this game. We can apply that to this game. I understand that. I guess like I'm just at the point where.
That doesn't make it any easier to handle.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying you're saying it is. I'm at the point where it's like, as someone who loves the game and wants to play it and wants, like, it's a rock and a hard place situation where like I know they like jokingly come across this way sometimes, but like they want people playing the game. They might not want 1 million people play, but they need people playing the game so that they can make money and make more games. Like, they need people playing the game, and people that play the game want the game to work. We can't, not saying you, this is like, chat. We can't forget that has to work both ways. It's like, yeah, I might be the one pissed now, but like, if I go quit, go play a game I enjoy, like, you're going to be where I'm at eventually. Like, eventually you're going to spawn in front of a guy, 4 feet behind you. He's going to shoot you in the back of the head, and you're going to be like, hey, this shouldn't be a thing. And then someone else is going to be, that's new to Tarkov, is going to be like, well, they're trying their best, man. It's they didn't know how big the game was going to be. And it's like, that cycle will continue forever. It's like, at the end of the day, I love this game and I want to engage in it and I want it to be good. And I feel as though like I'm not a knee surgeon. And so I acknowledge that the knee surgeon knows more than me. But if the solution is like, I wasn't sure if this was going to work, so I jammed it in between your joints, sewed you up, go for a stroll. If it doesn't work, we'll fix it later. It's like, I can acknowledge you're smarter than me and be like, that fucking sucks. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I can acknowledge that like maybe they are doing their best and maybe it's just too spaghettified and they can't do it any other way. I can accept that. But then they should be, and which they have never really given us, they should just be ballsy enough to accept when I'm like, this fucking sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just got to go both ways. If I'm going to be like, yeah, maybe this is the best way to do it, or maybe I don't understand a better way to do it, or I don't understand anything about it. It's like, I feel like that guy who came into my chat, he was so chill. I was like, he should be allowed to be like, bro, this game sucks. You know what I mean? Because that sucks. To spawn in front. So it's just, and it's just, and this definitely could be like a feeling thing, an emotion thing, not a reality thing. But it feels like it's getting worse. It feels like more mundane patches, or not even patches, just like, hey, this quest is available. More of those like super innocuous things are causing bugs. More patches have more game-breaking bugs. The arena patch today, they patched arena, new map, new game mode, super exciting stuff like that. 7-hour downtime, it came up. I didn't get to play it today because by the time I ended my stream, the entire time the patch was up, nobody was able to find a raid. Like it would match forever and then cancel. I had a bunch of people in my chat be like, I thought they were going to add a new game mode. They patched the game, it came up, but when you open the arena launcher, it didn't auto update, and it was letting people on the new patch launch the game and people on the old patch launch the game. So like Airwing was like in the game. He was like, I'm not seeing the new game mode. He was like matching and like queuing for an arena match on the old patch. And so like a bunch of people were like, where's the new game mode? And so it was just like, it's just
probably hadn't migrated all the servers over yet. And it was probably like mid
spaghetti. And so it was, I don't know. It seems worse recently. And maybe that's just not true. You know what I mean? I'm very much willing to admit that, but it seems worse.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know, dude.
And maybe
stuff, like isn't quantified.
Maybe they're literally just like, maybe they're doing it on purpose. Like maybe they used to spend a bunch of effort avoiding the spaghetti, like working, and so it was always a little spaghetti. And maybe now they're just like, this is how we plow through it. We just like have to find all of these places and clean them up one by one. So we're just like pushing shit out the door and just hoping it breaks something. So that's like, oh, okay, we can untangle the spaghetti here. Maybe.
Well, that's the whole it's a beta argument.
Yeah.
In that like, and this is kind of what I was saying. It's sad, but it's true that you could have like 15 pros take a week to regression test every patch.
Yeah.
And it would, and here's the thing, you would get every one of these changes 2 months later.
Yeah.
And with half of the bugs.
Yes.
Not even all of them would be gone.
Yeah.
Half of them might be gone. The other half still wouldn't get caught. Or you can push it out and crowdsource 1 million people all going to bitch about this one thing on Twitter. Okay, we fix that.
Yeah.
So it's like, now we can actually... So it's
but that's what I'm saying.
sad.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing.
And we talked about this on the Patreon a couple days ago, or a couple episodes ago. It's the same situation that we get when it's either like backseating chatters or whether it's calling Comcast tech support. I can be upset with the situation without by recognizing that like it's not personal. Like, I'm not mad at Judy, the tech support rep. I don't want to yell at you and ruin your day.
Yeah.
But it's still a terrible, annoying, frustrating situation. I empathize with you.
Yes.
Just like we should be able to empathize with ESG and understand where they're coming from, you know, like back to the conversation I had at fucking TwitchCon, right?
Yeah,
where like Nikita kind of called me out. So it's kind of like the relationship really needs to be like, oh, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And not you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, that's
which you're not doing.
Yeah.
But people hear what you're saying. But people
do it, yeah, for sure.
And then they respond as if you are. So people get defensive, which is why they're like, stop complaining, dude, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
because like, I'm complaining out into the world and I want it to like echo in the hills and then dissipate and I'll feel better for now.
Yeah.
Right. But like,
for sure.
It fucking sucks.
Because it's true. It's like, I bet from their perspective, a lot of the guys that are actually coding this shit are more frustrated at the spaghetti code than any one of us are. You know what I mean? They're like trying to push the game forward and navigate it. And there's probably messes that they see that they want to fix, but they don't have time to. So it's like,
these bugs were all written by people who don't work at BSG anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
So the
That's
people
the thing, right?
with the boots on the ground in their coding, trying to get, you know, this map out or whatever, or this, it's like, I get it. I can, like you said, I can empathize with Comcast Judy, but like my freaking, it just sucks. It just, I don't know. It's been, once again, overall, these past few weeks have been great, but man, since the zombie event, it's been atrocious. It's been atrocious.
I gotta read these two chat comments because it's fucking absolute gold. So someone said, yeah, they made 2 games before Tarkov. Contract Wars and Hired Ops as Escape from Tarkov began development in 2012. Battlestate Games lead developer Nikita Buyanov stated that he and the staff gained their experience to working in absolute soft on their previous work, Contract Wars. And then my mod, the overskill, says, "What in the Chat GPT response is that?" That was like the first paragraph of the wiki page mixed in with like a rant.
Gotta be like a copy paste from the website, from the like about us on the website.
Yeah, like, and here's the thing: the shit they made before, like Contract Wars, wasn't it like a browser game?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So that response was as if what they made before was equivalent to Tarkov,
Yeah.
and that everyone that worked there is everyone that's working there now.
Yeah.
That nothing has ever changed. That there's been no like, it's
Dude.
just completely detached from the reality of.
There's
the situation.
probably like Nikita and maybe 2 or 3 other people that still work at Battlestate Games from the Contract Wars days. Like, because even Kiba, right? Like he's one of the oldest of G's as part of the dev team of Tarkov. Even he came when they were making Tarkov. Like I don't think so there's like no one that's around that was Contract Wars days other than Nikita.
Yeah, so, I mean, like,
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I just had to. It was just a rough day, so I just had to let it. I had to, release some of the gas.
And I wonder. I don't know if Russia's any different or if video game industry is any different. But like when I was in the software world, people were in and out of companies from like 1 to 3 years, right?
Yes.
This game's been going on for the better part of a decade. They've had fucking 4 different teams working on this shit,
for sure.
basically. You know what I mean? Like
Star Citizen has gone through the same thing a few times where like they've had some really good people leave the game because they're like in the industry. The way the industry works is you ship a game and that's your resume. And so like they've had a bunch of people who were like there who wrote a lot of the code or whatever be like, dude, I have to like for my career, I have to go somewhere where I can like ship a product. And so I'm sure it's the same thing. They've had people revolve out because they're like, dude, I like this game. I like this stuff. But like, I want to move up in my career. So I got to go work at a place where I can ship a goddamn game. And yeah. Yep. Anyways, before we move on, a little bit more Tarkov stuff. And then we got some other stuff to talk about. But I do want to take a second and thank the second sponsor of the episode this week. And that is Dollar Shave Club. Whether you're going smooth shaven or maintaining a beard, Dollar Shave Club offers shave and grooming products that are always high quality, but never overpriced. Genuinely, all the stuff that they sent us is like giga high quality. Like, yeah, we're not talking like Walmart stuff. We're talking like, yeah, this is like freaking, it feels like diamond plated. Like, I don't know. It feels really nice, really nice. And my beard grooming routine has gotten out of control. I spend way more time in the bathroom than my wife does. It's actually a little embarrassing, but I love it. And so I use their shave, their Series 6 blade razor to like line up here. I line up down here all the time.
I finally did the first time, dude. Finally, for the first time in years.
Really?
Man, I love that thing. Yeah.
Yep. It's 6 stainless steel blades for our closest, most comfortable shave. Vitamin E infused lubricant strip. And then there's like 2 different handles you can get. The heavy metal handle. I think we got the Club Series diamond grip handle. Yeah, it's like super clingy, really premium. Feels really good. They've got covered everything. They've got like the what's it called? I just punched my mic. I had it up here. The pre-scrub. And then they have the shaving cream. And then they have the post-shave dew. They have like stuff for everything. It's all super nice. And then and then for like maintaining, for trimming, they've got the dry shave trimmer. It's a double header electric trimmer, divide and conquer. It's got 2 different heads, one for like body hair, one for like beard hair. It's just got they got everything you need, man.
Dude, they got a sick travel kit too. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
It's little tiny case that comes with like extra heads.
Yep.
The little case, it's got like the shave butter, the post shave dew, the whole 9 yards, dude. It's like,
it's nice.
Me and the wife have been doing so much travel, and
yeah,
I haven't taken that yet, but I'm excited to like pack that in.
Yep.
And to actually have like a good, because normally I just go and I'm like, I'm not shaving this whole trip. I
yes,
guess. Like,
normally. Yep.
Yep. But I'm looking forward to taking that with me
for sure. So everything is super nice. Double header electric trimmer is waterproof, battery operated, comes with 3 different guard lengths. They've got the Style Detailer Precision Trimmer, which is like the nose hair trimmer, which is extremely nice as well. So it's awesome, man. They got literally everything you need. Once again, whether you're maintaining a beard or whether you're going clean shaven, it's awesome. So don't take our word for it. You can try it for yourself. You can visit their site right now and get 20% off, $20 or more. And get your products delivered right to your door. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/pogcast and use promo code POGCAST for 20% off, $20 or more. And remember, however you shave, Dollar Shave Club is here to help you stay handsome. Thank you so much to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this episode. Um.
Dun, 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 dun. Will we get copyright strike on that?
We haven't yet, but I feel like
Nintendo's usually not bad about copyright,
yeah. If
right?
there's one company that's pretty chill about copyright,
Yeah.
it's Nintendo.
Pretty sure.
So I am excited to try the arena patch whenever it fixes. They added the new map fort, which is cool. They added the new game checkpoint, which is just domination with 2 points. They added the new smoke. It's only an arena, but please.
You think they'll add it at some point?
He said on the podcast that they will on the Tarkov TV. To remind everybody, because like people are like, bro, why are you so excited about the smoke? I keep talking about the smoke, and I was like, oh, let me show you. So I brought the other two in. The green smoke, the neon green smoke grenade. Like I couldn't have scripted this. I was like, this is how this looks, and I threw it, and it took like 4 business days to plume. It plumed, and it was just black smoke. There was no green, and it was completely see-through. And like me and Ham stood on opposite sides, and it made him infinitely easier to see because he was a full black silhouette. It was giga contrast, and everything else around him. And then he turned on his flashlight, and when illuminated, the whole plume turned green. Like it's the worst. Like if you
fucking Unity.
Yeah, if you do it in the daytime and you stand in the middle of it, it's like night vision. You look around and it's like it's crazy. And then the other one does the same thing. The like 1x2, like it takes forever to plume, and it's black unless you shine your flashlight on it. Then it turns gray. And so I was like, this is why we need new smoke. So I'm super excited for that. And then they fixed a bunch of stuff. They added, they started not rolling back, but they started adjusting all the like cash rewards. So like money and XP because it's been pretty OP this way.
For arena?
Yeah. So like, because all of that transfers over to Tarkov. So they reduced all the money you make from all the modes from between 15 and 20%. They reduced all of the XP that you get from all the modes by like 10 to 20%. So they're starting to do that. All of that stuff is pretty much meaningless, though. The thing is the dailies and weeklies. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they have all this stuff here, like double kill, reduced from 75 XP to 50 XP. And it's like, that doesn't matter when my daily is win 3 last hero rounds for 200,000 XP. And it's a daily. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't really matter the 50 XP on the headshot. So, but I'm sure that they'll adjust that with the wipe as well. So, I am genuinely excited to check out the checkpoint mode. The new map is fun, and I really, 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 really want the new smoke in Tarkov. So, but that's pretty much it. That's the Tarkov news. We're all just like waiting for the zombie event to be over. But I hate it. It hurts my soul because it was so close. It was so close to like genuinely an S tier event that I would want. I want to be sad when the events
they just
go.
Left it in there. Imagine like
Bro.
the timeline where they're like, you know what? I always wanted the zombie game. This is a zombie game now, and he just keeps it in. It's like, well, that would be how Tarkov would die.
That would be how Tarkov would die. Yeah. So it's just like I want to be sad when the events end, but so many of them recently have just been like, please God, let this event end. So, anyways, that's it. Any other gaming things on your horizon?
I mean, I've got a short list of games I like may or may not check out after Factorio. Like there's like Dyson Sphere program that I haven't even really looked at. It's just everyone keeps talking about it, and there's a few other like factory-esque games.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot about games like Inscription and a few other things that like I'd want to go back, I think, and replay Inscription.
Yeah.
I like forgot about that game. And it got me re-excited for fucking Pony Island 2.
Oh yeah.
Which
Is that the
like
same guy?
Same guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say Daniel Mullins, but that literally might be like a different guy.
Rodney Mullins.
Rodney Mullen. Yeah, I think he's the one. Yeah, okay, he did. Making sure. Rodney Mullen was my favorite skateboarder. That was before it was cool.
He is the GOAT. He's like the godfather of modern skateboarding for sure.
Motherfucker like invented every goddamn
trick.
Yeah. But yeah, so looking forward to that. What I've been like, I haven't watched much YouTube lately.
Okay.
But because I've just been playing Balatro usually when I, at night. Now it's like it used to be like all chess, and now it's like 60% Balatro, 40% chess. But I got sucked into the rabbit hole of, and I don't know if you have either.
God.
The reaction videos to Take Me Back to Eden songs from Sleep Token.
I've seen so many of those. Like,
I don't know why I can't stop watching. Like, it's like this vocal coach or this drummer or this guitarist first time reacting to like the summoning or whatever, and it's like I could just watch those forever, dude.
I get it because like as a musician, we parse through the music so differently. And so then when a musician is reacting to it, we're like, okay, are they going to like see the things I see? Are they going to see things I don't see? Now when I listen to the song, I'm going to be like, oh my God, that part. Like, that's why I like listening to like drummers react to stuff, because they'll like pause it and then like hit the riff they just heard and be like, oh, that's crazy. And I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't hear that. And then now every time I listen to the song at that part, I'm like, oh, that riff is nasty. So I totally feel you on that.
I will say though that I get the every now and then, and there are some that are worse than others, and you can't even fault them for it, because it's like they'll get shit if they're not like reacting, right? If they just play the song and they just have facial expressions, right? Like they'll get shit for not reacting enough, right? But then at the same time, it's like the drops coming, the build up, then they pause it and they're like, I want to. I'm like, no, you gotta let it go.
Yes.
Oh fuck!
It's like you gotta go back 30 seconds because you gotta get the whole lead up. Yeah.
And then there's this one channel. I don't even remember who it is. If you saw it, you would know. There's a guy. He's got like big gauge ear piercings, is full fucking tatted. He's got like pink hair.
Okay.
He does like real like scream kind of stuff on his channel. And then there's like this woman who's just like a vocal coach, who's like totally into different music. And they have like the same incredible appreciation for all the songs. Like she's not like a metalhead, right? So when all of a sudden it's like, it's like, she's like, oh, but she can appreciate it. For sure. It's awesome seeing someone not into the thing genuinely appreciate it, because it's so easy to like instantly dismiss that. Like I even know like my dad loves all kinds of music, but I know if I were to play him a couple of those songs, he would just be like, it just seems like it's like screaming, it's like, you don't get it. And I didn't appreciate so much of, I'm still not really into like the screamo kind of stuff, but that's not to say that like, I've come to learn to appreciate different styles of music before, because like when you listen to like Sleep Token and you see, it's so weird because I've played and watched like the virtuosos of guitar, right?
Yeah.
The Steve Vais, the Satrianis, the fucking like Joe Passes, like all these in every fucking genre you can think of, right? And yet, like when I hear these songs, I'm like, I don't even know what the guitarist is like playing.
Yeah.
Are they power chords? Like, is this like drop fucking F? Like, what am I listening to, right? And then I go watch like a playthrough, and I see that they're literally playing like open, 6, like one string. And like normally, like a few years back, I probably would have like scoffed at that for like, it's like the equivalent of like, Green Day back in the day. You'd be like, as a guitarist, a pretentious like 15-year-old, be like, all it is power chords, like blah, 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 whatever. But yet like, I have such an appreciation for every aspect of the music. The rhythm, the fucking singing. I mean, what's his name? Vessel, the singer.
Yep.
He's just fucking incredible, dude.
His melodies are crazy.
It's just phenomenal. It's got me wanting to do music again.
Yeah.
Because it's been too long. But dude, the funniest video I saw though was a montage of like bloopers of them live. Their fucking bassist, dude, all he does is just kind of zone out and back up into the lead singer constantly, dude. He just, and the lead singer's always like, while he's like singing. He just like, it's fucking hilarious because they're all wearing masks and shit. Like,
he's just, dude, the bass player's just sitting in the pocket, man. He's vibing.
You're just backing up. And of course, the lead singer's like, all into it. And it's just like,
oh
dude,
my God, that's so funny.
It's pretty funny.
100%.
Yeah, that's
it's like it's the circle of like any artist where like your appreciation first is for the complexity, and you end up, almost everybody ends in an appreciation for simplicity and its role in complexity. You know what I mean? Like, and music is a great example of that, because it's like a painting. It's just you and the canvas. And so all the complexity comes from you, all the simplicity comes from you. But in music, when you and me are guitar players, there's an entire world of complexity versus simplicity in just like how somebody plays the guitar. But that's one element of a band. And so I think 100% it's why I love that album so much, is because like the way each person gets their opportunity to like flourish and like show like I'm a master at what I do, and then in another moment reel it all the way back into just like some simple power chords or whatever, because now the melody needs to be the most important thing. So like how you just weave 5 or 6 different things into that, and it's crazy. So I'm totally with you, where like there was a time where I would have been like, oh my God, this is just for chords, like where's the freaking sick ripping guitar solo or whatever. But it's like, it's all in service of the final product, which can be as simple or as complicated as you want. It's like remembering that art or music is, its purpose is to just like provide an emotional response, whether that's happy, sad, like pumped or whatever. And that's like top to bottom, that album is like eliciting emotion. Sometimes it's the guitar, sometimes it's the lyrics, sometimes it's the melody, sometimes it's the way you just want to like headbutt a tempered glass door and run through it during freaking Vor or whatever. But the whole album, top to bottom, is like eliciting the precise emotion they want to elicit. And it's just a masterclass. Like the fact that Euclid and Vor can exist on the same album is crazy. It's so good.
Wild.
It's so good.
It's bonkers. Yeah, for sure. And part of why I love watching the reaction videos is it's like playing the Outer Wilds. I'll never get to play that game for the first time again.
Yeah.
So watching someone experience it's like you're living vicariously through them.
For sure.
I remember it was Dottie Hack was like, you ever heard Sleep Token Man? And I was like, no. And I hate getting fucking
music recommendations.
You ever hear this band? Because it's always like, you listen to it and it's always, I guess that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. And I remember kind of going on, like I was streaming. I was like, kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty sick. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then like being impressed by it.
Yep.
And then it kind of simmering. And then like a week later, playing it again. And then like it just plays the next song on the album and the next song. And then now it's like I have a playlist that's just called Guitar Music. And the first 20 songs is literally Take Me Back to Eden, the whole album in order. And then the album before that was This Place Will Be Your Tomb or whatever. Just in order. It's like the first 20 songs and every one is just incredibly good. And there's I can't. But watching people experience it for the first time again and seeing the journey you go on, when it's like how one of their songs can be just like this crazy beautiful ballad, the next one is like this fucking scream gent metal, and then the next one is metal, and then it turns into progressive rock, and then it turns into fucking R&B and like hip hop. And then it turns into like electronic. Like it's just wild, dude.
Crazy.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
Did you ever listen to Lorne?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever see the movie Annihilation?
Yes.
You know, like the soundtrack to Annihilation?
Yeah.
how it was like that fucking one like bass synth
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was just like, dude, Lorne is I'm pulling this up real quick just to let me see my line in. I want to go chat Mike. I want you to hear this guy's music is I want there to be a movie where he does the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Let me know if you can hear this. Oh, wait. Oh.
Yep.
Just let me hear. Wait.
Wait. Is this the Annihilation soundtrack or no?
This is Lorne. Dude, it's such a vibe. Maybe someone said this is a soundtrack. Maybe it is. But like, I don't even know the names of some of these songs because I just like click on Lorne and like some of his music is just like wild. I don't know the names of some of the ones that are like the.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, I'll have to look them up. Is it like a band with like proper albums or just?
I think it's like one. It's just one.
Just a dude doing his thing. LORNE or LORN?
LORN, not like Lord.
Yeah.
Never seen a diamond in the flesh. Does anybody know any of the songs that are like straight up fucking Annihilation? I don't remember.
I'll look them up.
I can't think. Yeah, anyway,
That's awesome.
but yeah, like, did you saw the movie with Denzel Washington with the Book of Eli?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I need a movie like that with him as the guy on the soundtrack. It would be such a
fucking
yes,
time, dude.
Holy shit.
Yes. I need like an Interstellar, but this guy's doing the soundtrack. Like I want to be hearing that as I cross the event horizon.
Dude, can you imagine a movie like with the vibe of like you know that's like the 300, the Book of Eli. They have this weird thing where it's like they fuck with the colors, the contrast, almost like comic book-esque in a way, like surreal-ish,
for sure.
like post-apocalyptic, but like in space.
Yes.
Not with cheesy ass aliens.
No. Yes. That would be so sick.
Oh my god.
That would be
the
dope.
Dark soundtrack is unbelievable too. I can listen to the theme song of that. I have that on like my very best bangers playlist.
Very best bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be dope. Only other thing is I did a little sponsored stream for XDefiant the other day. Did you play that at all when it first came out?
Is that I have an idea in my head of what that game is, and I recognize now it's not. I was thinking of XCOM.
Oh, XCOM.
like the turn-based.
Yes, those games were
down.
Yeah. But
no, I never saw XDefiant. I've never even seen this before.
It kind of like it was not marketed this way at all, but it became in like the community. It was like this is going to be the COD killer. It's like arena shooter, not reinventing the wheel. You know, all the same game modes, all the same whatever. But it was like a response to. It felt like a response directly to all the growing criticisms of Call of Duty. Like there was no skill-based matchmaking in the unranked mode. There was like the hit reg was like really clean. They like prioritized like good servers. It just felt like all of the gripes with like how Call of Duty had slowly kind of over casualized itself and was just like, we're going to make like the tightest shooter ever. And it came out, it made a splash, and it kind of fell off the map. And they did like a new season or whatever, and I was able to do a little sponsorship for them, and I had a blast. Now, I am often just like reminded that I like shooter games when I play like PUBG, or I'll play a little Call of Duty, or I'll play something like this. And there's like a honeymoon period where I'm like, oh, like not Tarkov is fun. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is fun. But I had a blast. And it was interesting because it got me thinking of, we've had recently in the past few weeks, a lot of conversations about like AAA studios and AAA games and all this stuff that's going on. And specifically around the conversation about like games, the sunk cost fallacy has applied to games more and more recently, where like this seemed to have come out. Like, I don't know much about it. And so, definitely in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong on like, maybe they flubbed something. There was like one specific blunder. But when this came out, I watched a lot of the like Call of Duty guys that I like follow from a distance, like Exclusive Ace or Scump or whatever. And everybody was like, this game is phenomenal. It feels great. It took all of our feedback. Like, this is going to take over the world. And like the other day, it had like 400 viewers on Twitch, 6 months later. And I'm like, maybe they just messed it up. But I was like, I think it's just really hard to get someone to move away from a game that they have spent A, 1,000 hours playing, or B, like, I bought $1,000 worth of microtransactions. I've been playing Call of Duty, the yearly Call of Duty, every year for 10 years. I bought the $70 game. I buy the battle pass. I work through it. Like, there's this, like, we were just talking about that. We're like, it's hard to make a game in an existing genre these days because the way games function now is so different. Like, we didn't expect 1,000 hours of gameplay out of a game 10 years ago. Now we do. And so it's so hard to not just get one person, but gaming is a very social thing. You have to strong arm an entire friend group to like jump ship and play a new game and commit to it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this game is fun. It feels really tight. It made a huge splash when it came out. And I was like, man, where is everyone? You know what I mean? So it just kind of got me thinking about that. Like, it's so interesting to see how games have changed and how like the habits of a gamer have also changed.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, dude. And it's a whole new world. But like also the entire world has fucking changed. Just like everything. Like, it's not even just games, dude.
No, for sure. For sure. People have changed, right? Like the people who remember the good old days of COD, those of us that were gaming original Modern Warfare 2, original Black Ops 2, we're also nostalgic for that. And it's like,
we get AARP shit in the mail.
Yeah, it's exactly. On some level, I'm sure it's true that we're nostalgic for who we were back then more than we're nostalgic for the way games worked, right? So that's a good point. It's not just that the games industry has changed. That's an easy thing to throw under the bus, right? It's easy to be like, man, these AAA companies these days, but we've changed. We're older now. Younger kids are playing games now. The people that played games back in the day are all older now. We've got jobs, we got kids. It's harder to play. So it's like, you're definitely right that it's more than just the gaming landscape, but like people have changed. More people are interested in games than ever. Gaming as an industry is bigger than it's ever been. But I just find it so interesting, like, to watch because we've gotten to see like big shifts, like genre shifts in gaming. Like, we were all gaming when like the first Battle Royale came out, and then the Battle Royale decade almost, where like everybody tried to do a Battle Royale. And then we've just witnessed Escape from Tarkov come out. And now everything is a PvPvE extraction shooter. So like, we've seen some pretty big shifts in gaming, and it's so interesting to see like how I feel like even recently with Battle Royales, people were willing to try just about any one.
Yep.
But now, even just a few years later, people are willing to try basically any game. But this just like this sunk cost fallacy of like it's just maybe sunk cost fallacy, like maybe that is how some people would, but I don't know. It just feels so hard to get a friend group to change games. And this just seemed like from an outside looking in, everybody was like, this is the Call of Duty killer. This is just better than Call of Duty in every way. And it's like, where is everyone? Maybe there's something I missed and they like genuinely messed it up or something that had a season where everything sucked. But I was just like, oh.
I think it's just there's so many like me looking at it. I recognize that this is a completely baseless first impression, right? But like, there's like 100 games like that. So just when you I see a gun on the screen with a mini map in the corner and the graphics look good. Okay, that's like 87 games. Like,
for sure.
Why this one? And why am I gonna like invest the $20 or $30 or $40 when like this is something that like I definitely take for granted. The fact that like if I want to play a game, I just go buy it on Steam, right? Whereas like so many people are like, I so badly want to play this game, but I have to wait till it's on sale.
Yeah.
It's like so.
Well, here's the thing.
Some people are just in different situations.
No, you're right.
Like
this game is free. Call of Duty is $70 a year. And this positioned itself like, once again, its marketing wasn't where the Call of Duty killer, but they very much so, like developers very intentionally were like, what has been the major criticism of Call of Duty over the past few years? We want to make a game that services each of those gripes. And so when you were saying, you were like, why this one? You're like, there's a million games like this. Why this one? You're absolutely right. Like that's a super fair thing. But the answer is because I'm complaining about the game I'm playing. And somebody put in chat, it has to be unbelievably better than whatever you're playing. I actually don't think so anymore. And that's what I'm saying. And what we're seeing is we're seeing this exact same thing in Tarkov. The overwhelming consensus is like Tarkov's a dumpster fire, right? It's like it's the best game to ever do it, but it's a dumpster fire. But what's the emotion whenever a new extraction shooter comes out? Oh, this is dark. This is a carbon copy of Tarkov. This is carbon everything. It's like basically what I'm observing is like, I want this need filled. This is the best thing to do it, but it sucks in these ways. Something comes along that's like, we service that need better. We look at that and we're like, we'll go back to this. And so that's what I find fascinating is that there are extraction shooters that like Arena Breakout and Delta Force have way better netcode, way better anti-cheat, way better this. And people's reaction is so viscerally like, ugh. And then like this came along and this was even a different thing. XDefiant, people were like, oh my God, they listened. It's got no skill-based matchmaking. The hit rate is crazy. Like, this is so sick. But we default. And so I don't even know. Like, I'm not even saying this to like say I have a point I'm trying to get across. I'm saying as an observation, it's fascinating because what it feels like at a 10,000 foot view is like I'm eating a burger and I go to my
I was just going to make a fucking
favorite
McDonald's
burger place and it's always underdone and the fries are always cold. It's always underdone. The fries are always cold. It's always underdone. The fries are always cold. New burger place opens up next door. I go there. I eat it. It's perfectly done. Crispy fries. Where am I the next day? Underdone burger. Fries are always cold. It's a fascinating thing.
That's not their experience. Their experience, and this is why they are different. And it's why I think I'm closer to their side. Is their experience is they go to McDonald's and it's familiar.
Yeah.
It's consistently 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right. And their buddy was like, dog, for fucking 5 years, dog, you gotta come and have fucking In-N-Out burger. It's fucking game changing, life changing, whatever. Finally, you like one day you're on vacation, you're out in California, you're so stoked, you go to have fucking In-N-Out burger and it's a 6.8 out of 10. And you're like, the hype wasn't worth it. So how many games have been boring, low effort, carbon copy, clout chasing, garbage, scam, whatever?
Yeah.
That everyone was like, this is going to be the next big thing, dude. Or they play it and they're like, it's awesome. And then you just don't vibe with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, fool me once. At that point, like, I need. It's like all the games I've been playing lately. that I'm like, these games are amongst the best games I've ever played. And
Yeah.
I was saying no for 5 years
Yeah. Yeah.
to people because
The resistance. Yeah.
it's like getting recommended music. How
Yeah.
many times has it been mediocre? And still, now anytime anyone wants to recommend me music, Dottie Hack recommended Sleep Token and it was life-changing. And yet the next time someone's got a band, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't want to listen. It's gonna be mediocre because statistically it's gonna be mediocre and I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But
so
I'm with you. I think I agree with everything you said. I think that's why, once again, XDefiant surprised me so much, because there was no marketing. Like, there was no marketing before the game came out, right? Like, it was, Cyberpunk released their first trailer like 8 years before the game came out. There was no marketing before the game came out. They just dropped a beta. Everybody hopped in. And what it felt like was my analogy, where the new restaurant opened. There wasn't even a sign above the door. The customers went, holy shit, this is delicious. And then 6 months later ended up back. That's why I find it an interesting thing. Because what you're saying is I totally understand. People are like, this new Extraction game is going to be it. It's going to finally, beat Tarkov, whatever. And then it's like marginally better. And so it doesn't live up to the hype, even if it is better. So we go back to the thing we know.
It's marginally better in a couple of ways.
Yeah.
But it just completely falls flat in the most important.
Yes. But this felt like the opposite. There was no hype. There was no marketing. They dropped it. And the players immediately went, whoa, this fills all the needs my other place doesn't have. And then once again, I'm saying this from my perspective. I blacked out for 6 months and I woke up and now there's no one at this restaurant. And I'm just going, that's fascinating. Like, basically, I'm just an observer because I don't know. I don't know if season 1 sucked. I don't know if they added pay to win. But I'm saying it's so interesting because this felt like it was the antidote to all that. There wasn't a big, and then I was like, oh, let me check out the game. And it was like, no one's playing. It's Ghost Town. And I was like, oh, I wonder why. And then I played it and I had a blast. So it was just like a really
it's like
interesting
one of those
use cases. Yeah.
That there's only ever 7 customers a week there because they don't do advertising. You need to know the password to get in. Yeah. And that's part of like what makes it like cool, man. But I think the only other factor I'll mention, and I think it's a not unimportant factor, and it's kind of counterintuitive. But the moment I hear a game is free, I just assume it's trash.
That's great.
Which is totally,
yeah.
Which is totally, it's like whenever I want to get offered a free sample at the grocery store, I still am like, sometimes I say no because I don't want to feel like they're pressuring me into taking a box of these granola bars, right?
Yeah.
There's something about mentally, emotionally, whether it's rational or not, the fact that like there's this game that's free to play. That to me is like, it's almost like, what are you making up for? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you're compensating for something.
The problem is I feel like I don't think that's a wrong opinion at all. The problem is that we're so far past that the like in this example, we're talking XDefiant versus Call of Duty, the paid games are free-to-play games that cost $70. Like, does that make sense?
They play like they're
all
free.
The sacrifices that are being made, but there's a $70 box price and a battle pass and a premium currency. You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, that's why I won't fucking play any of the shooters at all.
Sense.
I'm over the entire genre.
For sure.
And at this point, I want to play fucking Vampire Survivors indie games made by 2 dudes for like $1,100.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll pay $7 and I'll get 10,000 hours out of the game over the next 10 years.
Which I totally respect. I'm pretty pro free-to-play games. Like, I know that there have been more than a few yucko ones, but like, I've probably played 10 hours of Call of Duty in the past, 2 years, and the 2 hours I played of XDefiant was like equally as polished, good, fluid, responsive, tight.
Yeah, and I need to make clear that what I'm not saying.
Yeah, you're not saying free-to-play games are garbage.
It's just the natural impression.
Like
if someone
response.
said, bro, there's this incredible like country band you got to hear, you're gonna just hear like fucking Tim McGraw in your head.
Yes.
And if you don't like Tim McGraw, then you're
Yeah.
right. They might not be anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to just not have like you get 9 million recommendations a day. I
Yeah.
have to just assume it's this pigeonhole thing and move on with my life, because if I take every recommendation seriously,
For sure.
I'll have 8,000 games in my Steam library.
Yeah.
I'll have no money left
and no time to play any of them.
And I'll be playing Balatros still on my iPhone.
No, I'm with it. I feel you. But
yeah,
it's super interesting. And once again, like I'm as we've said many times, I'm pro Call of Duty. I'm pro freaking XDefiant. Like I genuinely had fun. The last time I played Call of Duty, I had a blast doing it because I took it super not seriously and just played with homies. XDefiant was like genuinely so fun. Like both of those games remind me that I like playing shooter games outside of Tarkov. But I just found it to be such an interesting like case study in just everything we've talked about like how the gaming industry has changed and how much of that is on the gamer, how much of that is on the company, how much of that is on whatever. So it's fascinating.
It really makes you wonder though when you think about like how much we call into question how like, you know, Starfield spent $1 billion. I'm making this number up, right?
Yeah.
But like $1 billion on advertising.
Yeah.
$1 billion on making the game and $1 billion on advert. Like Hollywood's the same way, right?
Yeah.
Like I saw a thing about Matt Damon basically saying how like everything changed when DVDs went away because now we're not getting 2 massive paychecks.
Yeah.
Now it's all up front. So you have to spend so much more on marketing.
Yeah.
And now we have to make movies that are half-assed, cost, you know, nothing. And they're totally empty, vapid, you know, spineless, whatever.
Yep.
You know, not like they used to be, you know,
Yeah.
but like, you did say it yourself. They didn't do any marketing. That's kind of like your answer. I never even fucking heard of the game.
I said they didn't.
So that's why
They've done plenty of marketing. I'm saying they didn't do any marketing before the beta. What I'm saying, what I meant to say there was no expectation. There was no hype. They dropped the beta. That exploded and every Call of Duty streamer was playing it. And then that was their launching point for their marketing campaign leading up to launch. But I'm just saying that was a much better way to do it than to release 58 trailers and all these interviews and all this stuff before any gamer has had a chance to play it, because now it's built up in your head. They did tons of marketing. It was just after players were able to play it. And I loved that about the order of operations there. Put out the beta, let that speak for itself. And I'm saying, and it worked flawlessly. It had 150,000 viewers in the category every day during the beta. Then they started their campaign, you know, marketing campaign, free to play game. It was like, there was a moment where it was like, how could this game ever fail? And that's what I find interesting is like, here we are 6-8 months later. And it's like, oh, where is everyone? And then I play the game and it's still a really good game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
You're also doing the equivalent of like, I was gonna make like a wife metaphor, but that would suck. That would just be shitty. Like you're going from Tarkov to anything's good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Literally,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You know,
but that's why I was saying that I could have and probably have missed things, but it was just an interesting thing because I mean you're definitely right, dude. I'm getting freaking beat with bricks and a pillowcase 8 hours a day, and it's like, here, do you want some water? And I'm like, oh, this guy's so nice.
I just wonder if I'm projecting totally here, but like I feel like I'm just kind of over. I'll still play them, I'm sure, from time to time, but like I've spawned and killed 7 people enough
a million times. Yeah.
It's all really the same after a while. And not only that, but you know, you get older, the kids are cracked, there's fucking aim assist and all these games. Like it just kind of like I feel like the genre of like the arcadey shooter, it's like in its I don't want to say it's like in its final fucking sunset years,
form.
You know.
No, but
like,
that almost circles it back around to where this conversation started, which was the habits of gamers and how I find them interesting. Because I'm not surprised XDefiant didn't pull you in. I'm surprised it didn't pull the people that still play Call of Duty and these other arena shooters 7 days a weekend. And and what you just said, so like that's what I'm saying, full circle. What you just said might be another element I missed when I brought this conversation up. It's not even necessarily, I kept using sunk cost fallacy because I was the only way I could rationalize it was like, maybe they just put too many hours into COD. Maybe subconsciously, we are all thinking that, where it's like, subconsciously, it's like this kind of is on its last leg. So why start something new? I'm just going to play this game and bitch about it. But because we kind of all see it on the downturn, why would I restart something? Like maybe that is the answer. Like in some way that the industry is just like, we've done enough of these, I don't know.
It's the same reason why everyone goes and watches the next fucking mediocre ass Marvel movie, and they don't watch like fucking Eternal Sunset of the Spotless Mind or whatever, right? Like
Mind or Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the real art,
Yeah. Yeah. Freaking, I watched Parasite 6 times. I didn't see that movie. I heard it was great though.
Is that a Marvel movie, Parasite?
No, it's it won like all the Oscars like 2 years ago. Apparently it's like the best movie ever made.
Oh, you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of Parasite. Was it Parasite Eve? Parasite Steve?
You were thinking of Human Centipede.
The Human Centipede. Did you see that episode of South Park?
No.
It was all, the whole episode is all about signing the terms of service on like for these big companies like Apple and like what you're giving away, and they basically end up having to be human centipedes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, that's all the stuff for this week. Good conversations. Don't worry about that. The human centipede. But anyways, so cool stuff. Thank you for the little mid episode Tarkov therapy session. It was good doing. But if you guys are interested in even more content like this, you can head to patreon.com/thepodcastpod, where you can get early ad-free access to these episodes and even an additional episode every single week. Thank you again to Dollar Shave Club and Turtle Beach for sponsoring this episode. You guys are the best. We really appreciate the support. We really appreciate you listening. And like we said at the beginning, we really appreciate you guys, the real ones, hanging out on episodes where we don't talk about Tarkov at all or much. You guys. And
if you don't like it, fucking get used to it.
Freaking get out of here. No, stay, but just get used to it. Yeah, like he said. Also sign up for the Patreon. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging, and we'll definitely see y'all on the next one.
Get some rest.